Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I hope you take a minute to look around, and if you like what you see, I hope you subscribe and don't forget to click that little bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos or giveaways. So someone had asked me if you can emboss vellum, and today I'm going to show you that you can and how beautiful it can be. Let's head on over to my craft table.
Okay, I've already got some vellum that I cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 because that'll be perfect for the front of an A2 size card. And I actually already have some lined up in this embossing folder. I absolutely love butterflies and I thought this was absolutely gorgeous. And this is brand new to me. I just got this from InLoveArts and thought this was the perfect thing to use for today's demonstration. So I'll put a link below in the description box to that if you are at all interested in that gorgeous embossing folder. And so now I'm just going to run this through my Cuttlebug and bring it out the other side. And you're going to get to see what it looks like embossed. There you go. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And now I'm going to show you some things that you can do with it. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is how it would look with different backgrounds to it. But in a little while, I'm also going to show you some other things that you can do with it. So here's what it would look like up against this bright pink. And let me grab a lighter color one here. Here's what it would look like up against this lavender. And it does show through, even though you're not seeing it really well on the camera, but there is a difference. Hold on, let me grab something white for a minute, just so you could see the difference. There you go. Okay, so this is what it would look like on white. That's what it would look like on lavender. And actually, while I have this, let me turn it over because there's flowers on it. And this is what it would look like if you had like a patterned background behind it, like flowers. Isn't this just gorgeous, by the way? I mean, I just grabbed this to show you, but let me tell you, it just came out of this Love Forever paper pack that I got from InLoveArts. And oh, this has such gorgeous papers. I'm glad it was sitting here for me to grab a hold of to show you because it is really pretty like that. Okay, let's see what else have we got here. This is just an inked background, so just little various colors, and that's what it looks like on there, which this is probably one of my favorites. And this is a wax paper resist technique, and I'll put a link at the end of this video to this because you're probably gonna want to learn how to do this. It's really awesome. But anyways, and so that's what it looks like over that. There's just all kinds of variations. It just depends on what you put behind, you know, the vellum and what shows through. Okay, I'm going to show you how to color on it with a colored pencil. And this is the front where everything is raised, and you're going to turn it over to the back side. And I normally don't color on camera because I can't get my nose close enough to what I'm coloring. So hopefully I don't mess this up. But you just color, in this case it's a butterfly, so you color inside the butterfly. And those little edges actually make it a little bit easier to stay inside the lines. So this is just going to be a quick coloring here, just to give you an idea. Okay, so there's that, and turn it over, and there it is. And it's always going to be lighter on the front than it is on the back, obviously. But it is a beautiful look, and you can always make it darker if you want. And so you could go over all of the butterflies or just selective butterflies. It is totally up to you. And like I said, you can make it darker if you want. Let me go in here really quick just to give you an idea. And I am not going to be showing, but you can also color this with your alcohol ink markers. Okay, let's turn this back over again. And there you go, a little bit darker. And it's going to look really beautiful on here when I get all of those colored. Another thing that looks really beautiful on vellum is something like this Close to My Heart shimmer brush, which comes in clear or different colors. This one is called Bashful, and Stella and some other brands also make something like this. And for this one, you want the raised part on the top. And let me get this opened here. Probably going to make a mess. But for this, you just go right over the top of the butterflies, or whatever your raised image might be that you want to, add it to. You may have a different type of embossing folder, and you may have maybe just one thing that you want to bring attention to like this. So I am going to let this dry, and I'm also going to be doing the other butterflies so that you can see what it looks like finished, but it just gives it a really pretty sparkle. Okay, so I showed you a few things you can do with the vellum after you've embossed it, such as coloring the back of it with colored pencils, and you can do this with alcohol ink markers and probably other markers. So you should experiment a little and see what works best for you. I also showed using a Close to My Heart shimmer brush, which is similar to a Wink of Stella and gives it that beautiful sparkle all over. And I also showed you doing nothing at all other than putting it on top of a patterned cardstock, and you can even put it on top of a solid color cardstock. So I know the next question from everyone is, how do you adhere it? Because adhesives show through vellum. Well, let me tell you, this one right here, I used a spray adhesive. So obviously turned it over, sprayed it, and put it on the cardstock that was, going to be underneath. And it works out beautifully. You get full coverage, so it's adhered completely to the cardstock that I used. On this one, I used brads, and I put the brads through the vellum and the cardstock before adhering it to the card base so it doesn't show through. And so pretty brads are a great way to do it. Some brads even have, gems on them. So whatever you might have in the way of brads. And on this one, I took these adhesive back pearls and I put them on first before I've adhered anything to anything. Okay, so those went on first. Then I turned the vellum over and I put glue dots behind the pearls so they won't be seen. And then I put it on that patterned paper. You can put it on cardstock or whatever you want, but no one is going to see that. And I have another one for you that I couldn't use because there was just too much embossing going on here, so there wasn't a lot of smooth area. But there is vellum adhesive, and this is by Tombow, so this is what I have right here. And this works really well. It's a clear adhesive that disappears on most vellum, according to what it says, and I've never had it show through on any vellum I have ever used before. And so that could come in handy. Let's say that you wanted to leave, let me grab something here. Okay, so let's say that you just wanted to adhere one side and let the other side flap. You could put a strip of that vellum adhesive down this side and attach it right to the side of your card, just like that. And another way you could do this is cut your vellum a little bit bigger and then fold it over and attach it to the back of your card, leaving, this side loose. And any of those ways will work beautifully. So there are some ways that you can adhere the vellum, because I know that's one of the biggest things I ever hear. It isn't can you emboss vellum, but it's how do you adhere vellum. Now I'm going to show you something else that I did that I'm going to be adding to all of these. So I took a piece of vellum that was just big enough to fit under this big butterfly, and you could do it under any of the butterflies, or obviously you may not even be using a butterfly embossing folder, but for me, I put vellum under there and embossed it, and then I cut it out and made these beautiful butterflies, and I put on, see if you can see the sparkle, I used the shimmer brush on these, and I am going to adhere it right over the butterfly that's already on there down at the bottom. Here, let me get one you could actually see. In fact, I have a pink one that's going to go there. So this will go right over the top of that and give it some dimension, and it's going to look beautiful. And I have done the same thing for all 3 of these cards just because I really like that look. And I'm going to put those on and I'll be right back. Actually, I thought I would show you. I just put a little bit of that vellum adhesive on the back, and I'm just going to line it up with this butterfly, just like that, and then lift up its wings, like so, and there we go. Now, this little tail on these 2, let me get this one over here so you can see it too, hangs down a little bit past the card, so I'm just going to get my scissors, and I'm going to snip that right off. But isn't this just gorgeous? And I just love the dimension of adding just that one butterfly. After I put the butterflies on, I decided to come back and add a little something special. So since this one had pearls, I added another pearl right there in the center of that butterfly. And on this one, I added a nice little purple rhinestone to match the ribbon and the butterflies. But on this pink one, I decided I wanted to leave it just the way it was.
Thank you all for stopping by, and as always, I hope that this has inspired you and given you some ideas of your own. And don't forget to click where it says show more, because that'll drop down and you are going to find links to the products that I used today, as well as a discount code to InLoveArts, and also a link to Crafter's Castle Challenge where you can enter your creations for a chance to win a prize. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.